Okay, I'm going live. Hello, everybody. Everybody. So if you are here, first of all, there's, it'll take a second for people to pile in. Give us a minute if you're watching the replay to kind of get all the admin stuff done. But if you are here live watching and you are watching on the live page that I sent out for the webinar, you may need to refresh your screen to be able to see the chat. So just fair warning, if you're here watching on YouTube, hello. So I am going to, hey, Dina, Dina? I don't want to say that wrong. But anyway, I'm going to give it a few minutes, let some people pop in. Hey, Mary. Hello, everybody else who is here. I'm so excited. From South Africa. Oh, my goodness. So exciting. Hello, Tiffany. Hello, everybody. Like I say, I'm going to wait just a minute or two. Let everybody pop in. Make sure everything's working because I forgot to add the chat on the live page, and now it's there. So I just want to make sure you guys see that. So if you're watching on the live page, I'll say it again. If you're watching on the live page and you can't see the chat to the right of your screen, hit refresh and it will show it to you. But if you're watching on YouTube, obviously that's not a problem. Hello. Okay, Deanna. Awesome. Melissa. Hey, from Charlotte. Did you guys get ice? Hi, Julie. Adrian. Hello. Soap School. You're going to be in my presentation today. James, Stacy, Autumn. Hello, everybody. Okay, awesome. So I have Laura. She's literally over here. You can't see her. But she's in the chat as me. So she's going to be monitoring the chats. So if you ask a question or, whatever, and you don't, and I'm answering, it's probably her. But I'm also able to see your chat over here on the right as well. Hello, Michelle. Hello, Barbara. Kim is here. Melissa, no ice, just rain. Rain. Yep, I feel ya. Joan, we had ice, but it wasn't as big of a deal as we thought it was going to be. So I'm going to hit play right here just so I make sure the chat is playing. Okay. All right. Hello, everybody. Okay. So, again, somebody's from North Wilkesboro. Where did that say that? Hi from North Wilkesboro. Still didn't see the chat on your page, so came to YouTube. Okay, that works. The chat should be working if you refresh. If you guys don't see the chat and you're watching live, if you'll refresh the page. Is it working on the page? Yeah. Okay. If you'll refresh the page and hit play, it should be working there. Hello, everybody. Okay. So I tried to set up my other webcam so I would be better quality and not looking down at you the whole time, and it looked real funny. So we're gonna have to figure out the settings on all this being in the office. Somebody said, why is the image reversed? Because I reversed it. So the settings in eCam, you can reverse it, and I think I look funny reversed, or the way cameras reverse us, So yeah, my Spunk Hustle and Grit sign is backwards. Okay, so we're going to get started. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Like I say, Laura is going to be monitoring that throughout the presentation, and I'm going to have a question and answer thing at the end as well. So thanks, Robert. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit this little button here so we can get started. If you guys can just give me confirmation that you see my presentation, you'll still see my face down here at the bottom, but if you can just let me know you see my presentation, we will get started. Darren, let's see, who else? Oh, Darren Family, hello. Okay. Neon looks good. Thank you. Yeah, I love my neon sign. Oh, I moved that. I didn't mean to move that. There we go. Hello, switched over to YouTube too. Okay, perfect. Long Island. Fun fact, my mom was born on Long Island, lived in Long Island for about 2 years. My grandparents lived there for about 40 years. So, yes. Okay, perfect. We see it. Awesome. So I am going to get my screen ready here so I can present to you. But essentially, we're going to talk about how to make YouTube a lead-generating, money-making machine. And this is very specific to two different kinds of people. One is the person who wants to use YouTube in your business, and 2 is the person who wants to turn YouTube into a business. So this is going to be applicable to all of you. Now, one of the things I want to talk about on YouTube, I actually literally just got a question yesterday or so on Instagram from someone who was like, can I still get started on YouTube? Is it saturated? And I understand that it feels that way. I really do. But let me bust that wide open for you, because that is absolutely not the case. It absolutely is. There's a lot of people on it. There's 23 million active YouTube channels. But compared to how many websites there are in the world, there's not that many. And you have to remember that people give up really easily on YouTube. Like, it's a lot of work. And so a lot of times people will get started and you'll see, 72 different people in your niche, and then they're just gone because they didn't have what it took to get it done. So if you are wondering if you can still, have the results, do the things on YouTube, even though we're this far into the YouTube journey and some niches could feel saturated, that kind of thing, you absolutely can. Okay, so here's the thing with YouTube, and I'm sure all of you know this, but I feel like I need to kind of, always hit on it a little bit. But it is the second largest search engine in the world, and it has less competition than Google. So let's go back here. 23 million active YouTube channels, 1.5 billion websites in the world. So if we're looking at, where can we stand out with search and with content, it's definitely more so in YouTube than in Google. Because in Google, we're competing against 1.5 billion people. And on YouTube, it's just a few million. And in your niche, it's probably not even, a handful, if not 10 or 20 channels. So I just want to bust that myth a little bit and say, if you are worried that it is too saturated, that is absolutely not true, okay? You can be seen, you can dominate. Search rankings on YouTube are just literally like magical, if you will. So who here can relate? I want a raise of hands, like on Mean Girls, when they're like, who here has been personally victimized by Regina George? Who here has been personally victimized by the fact that you create content and you feel like nobody's ever watching? Who? Yes, I know you do, because I do too, and did, especially in the beginning days. Like, I would have a blog, or, I would be podcasting or whatever, and I would be frustrated because nobody was watching. And it can be really frustrating. And if you're on YouTube now and you feel that way, I get it. Trust me. Like, I totally get it. And we're going to talk about, how to fix that, essentially. So those of you in the chat, Laura's going to be chatting back and forth. If you're just popping in, she's there. And then also, I'm going to be answering questions at the end. So don't worry if I don't answer your question right off. Okay, yes, all the yeses in the chat. My chat's a little delayed, but all the yeses in the chat for those of you that feel like this. I totally get it. Okay, so I want to tell you a little bit about my story, essentially. So started at the bottom and now we here, right? In 2017, I had been on YouTube for about a year at that point, and I had 500 subscribers. And I remember this because I had a Facebook group that had like 2,000-3,000 people in it. And I was like, you know what? I'm at like 495 followers on YouTube. I'm going to go into my group and I'm going to be like, hey, push me over. And that way I have 500 subscribers. So like, I remember the date that happened. But guess what? Those 500 people were already on my email list. Those 500 people were already following me somewhere else. I wasn't gaining new people into my YouTube ecosystem, and I for sure wasn't gaining new leads or anything like that. It was just people who were already there. Now I gain over 100 new leads a day. My website gets more than 50,000 hits per month, and over 75% of my income comes directly as a result of my YouTube videos. So whether that's because someone found me on YouTube and then they came into my ecosystem, or that's because they found me and purchased right then, or if that's because they found me and then they, clicked on an affiliate link. But I want to tell you that because that was the journey I went on. Like, I had no subscribers. I wasn't taking it serious. I wasn't growing, all the things. And then all of a sudden, and not all of a sudden, it's because I did it strategically, which is what we're going to talk about. But then all of a sudden, it was, I'm going to do this and I'm going to make the most of it. And I went from nobody really finding me on YouTube to everybody finding me on YouTube. So today, you're going to learn how to use YouTube to gain leads and ultimately to gain income, okay? So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to talk about 3 different sections today. Number 1, and I think my face is probably covering this up in the actual live video, but number 1, how YouTube can change your business. And also, if YouTube is the business, it's kind of the same thing, okay? Second thing we're going to talk about is my 4-part framework to YouTube success. So you can be actually found on the platform, because I see a lot of you in the chat who are like, oh my gosh, I am only getting 10 views, or I've been doing this for a year and it's just not working. So I'm going to teach you my 4-part framework so that today, hopefully you can turn around and apply what you've learned and move forward. And then the third thing we're going to talk about is how to actually convert the people who watch your YouTube videos into leads and money, because that's important. Actually, you know what? Let me go back just a second. So essentially, when we have people who watch our YouTube videos, and especially for someone who's a YouTube creator, we often think that the only way to make money is with YouTube AdSense, and that is absolutely not true. So when we talk about how to convert eyeballs to leads and money, that also means if you are a YouTube creator and that's the business, how can you make money from what you're already doing? And if you are using YouTube as a business or as an asset to your business, how can you convert them into the things you sell? Okay, so we're going to talk about all of that. I feel ya. Your wheels are spinning. So we had a lot of ice here last night, and I was afraid I was, going to lose power. I literally had an email in my email marketing system ready to be able to send if I lost power and couldn't do this workshop. But 2, it was icy. And so a lot of workplaces canceled and things like that. And it's actually not that bad today, but we thought it was going to be, right? And in the ice or in the snow, your wheels will just sit there and do this, right? You won't go anywhere. And a lot of times with social media, a lot of times with content creation, it kind of feels the same, It kind of feels like we're just literally spinning in the snow, in the ice, and we're not going anywhere. So if you've been blogging, or you've been active in Facebook groups, or you've been on people's podcasts, or you've been on YouTube, and you feel like you're literally just not moving forward, I feel ya. And that's absolutely what we're talking about today. So if that's you, that was also me. In 2010, I started my business in 2010. And I basically, for the first 5 years, so from 2010 to 2015, my business made the same amount of money, and I never broke $10,000 a year, ever. And I felt like I was on this hamster wheel that I couldn't get off of. I was constantly spinning my wheels. I would blog, and then, I'd see these people being successful with their blog. And that wasn't my story, right? Or I would get featured on somebody's podcast and I think oh my gosh, this is my big break. That also wasn't my story. And my business literally was going nowhere fast. And then here's what happened. So I have 2 kids. They are 7 and 10. And so around 2015, I was literally having conversations with my husband where it was when you go back to work, when you get that job at this other place or whatever, right? And it was making me so sad. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to go back to work. I love being my own boss, but I also understand that we can't live on me making $10,000 a year. I was spending more than I was making at that point, right? So I basically was like, okay, something has to change. And for me, I made a promise to myself that would not be my story, that it wouldn't be my story that I had to go get another job, that whatever. I literally made a promise to myself that I would make this work. But again, remember that nothing I was doing was working at this point. I was on podcasts, I was, doing this, I was doing that, and nothing was really giving me any traction. So here's what changed it all. Literally what changed everything about my life and my business. I have a multi-six-figure business now. I made $10,000 a year for 5 years straight, right? So there was a change somewhere, and it was the fact that I knew I had to make this work. And these were the things that I know were the biggest game changer for my business, and also continue to be the biggest game changers for my business for years, in the last several years as well. So visibility. Oh, I could talk about this all day. We all know that people have to know, like, and trust you before they'll purchase from you, right? We all know that. But oftentimes we think we're being visible and we're not. So again, just yesterday in my Instagram DMs, someone was like, I'm doing all of this. And I went to their Instagram account, and then I also went to their YouTube channel. I'm like, no, you're not. You're not doing this. You have got to be visible. You've got to show up. You've got to have your face out there on the cameras, because the thing is, if we really want to grow, people have to know how to find us, and visibility is key to that, okay? So visibility was kind of the key to what changed everything for me. People knowing who I am is the key to what changed everything to me. And YouTube was the vehicle that allowed me to be visible. I have a funny story. So I was at a conference, and I was going to be speaking at the conference, I don't know, it at least was 2 years ago, because, I didn't travel at all last year. So sometime, 2018, 2019. And I just hit 100,000 subscribers, y'all. So then I probably had 15,000, maybe 20,000 subscribers. And I was in the bathroom, and my accent is fairly recognizable, right? It's something that people pick out. I was in the bathroom, and I was talking to a friend of mine in the stall next to me. And all of a sudden, from outside of the stalls, I hear, "Oh my gosh, Jessica Stansberry, is that you?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's me." And she goes, "I need a selfie." And I was like, "Well, let me get done peeing first, and then we'll talk about your selfie." And we totally selfied in the bathroom, which was hysterical. But the only reason she knew me was because of YouTube. That's it. And she knew my voice, right? She totally knew my voice. And I just saw a question pop up, which, again, I'm going to answer questions at the end, but I feel like I have to say this now. Someone said, do you actually have to show your face? There are some really successful channels that don't show their face. But being recognizable and being visible as a brand is very, very important. So you can have success without showing your face, but it takes a lot of effort. I think it takes a lot more effort than if you're actually just going to be out there with your face, right? Because that's the world we live in now. That's it. People want to see the face behind the brand. So visibility was the thing that changed the game. YouTube was the vehicle that got me visible. And then my email list was what grew because of those things. And then once my email list grew, my Instagram grew. Once my email list grew, my profits grew. Once this grew, that grew. You see how it all kind of works together. So Sarah from Soap School is actually in here. So meet Sarah. Sarah went from 200 subscribers to over 1,000 subscribers in just 6 weeks and hit the requirements to monetize her channel. Actually, I didn't update this before we updated this, or before we did this presentation. So I just pulled her stats, I think last year, and she had 8,000 subscribers at that point a year later. So she probably has way, way more. And I'm sorry, Sarah, I didn't update that. But essentially, you see the point here is that Sarah, it doesn't just work for me. It works for Sarah. It works for Jamie that we're going to talk about later. It's going to work for you in the chat to actually sit down and say, I'm going to focus on the 4-part framework that Jessica's going to teach me, and I'm going to be able to grow my channel. Sarah was literally able to grow her channel from 200 subscribers to 1,000 in just 6 weeks. That's a big deal because I think it takes us a long time to get to 200 subscribers, right? And so we think, oh my gosh, it's going to take that long to get us everywhere, and it really doesn't. Okay, so I want to show you. Are you ready to see how you can have the same results that have changed my business? The same results that have changed Sarah's business, the same results that have changed Jamie's business, the same results that have changed this person's business. Okay, Sarah just said she now has 18,000 subscribers, and that's with taking almost a year off. So see the power here, guys? I want to show you how this has happened, okay? So if you're ready, this is what we're going to talk about. Essentially, again, why YouTube is a game changer, the 4-part framework, and how to turn your channel into a 24/7 employee, okay? So that you're making sales and gaining leads literally in your sleep, because I'm a big believer in that. YouTube is going to change your authority, your income, and your reach. Let's talk about each of those for just a second, okay? So your authority, you have got to be seen as an expert in your field. You just have to. Even if you are a travel vlogger or you are a family vlogger. Now, let's say you have a family channel and that's what you're trying to grow. It doesn't mean you have to be an expert in family, right? But you need to be seen as someone who people look up to. And that's your authority. If you are someone like me who has a talking head type channel or who teaches things or whatever, or like Sarah who teaches things, then you need the authority to be seen as an expert in your field very quickly. This is going to, so YouTube is the vehicle to grow this authority, right? And then that's going to lead to so many other things. If you want to speak at conferences, that's going to open the door to do that. If you don't want to speak at conferences, you can totally close that door. If you want to be a guest on podcasts, you can do that. If you want to, be seen as I got distracted by the chat. If you want to be seen as an expert in Clubhouse, that can be done by utilizing your YouTube platform, okay? So your authority is massive. For me, this is kind of how this happened. So essentially, I started sharing tutorials on YouTube to go with my blog posts because I realized how good it was for SEO. But then also, I was sharing them because at the time I was teaching very technical things like how to work this system or how to do this thing. And it was just much easier for me to create a video tutorial in order to do that. So I just started basically creating those videos and throwing them up on YouTube. And then people were seeing them and sharing them. And then when people saw them and shared them, even though I didn't have that many subscribers, I was instantly seen as an expert, and I saw a massive uptick in the opportunities that were given to me or asked of me, right? So an example I can give you, my very first YouTube video I ever published was all about how to create an interactive Gmail signature, okay? So basically how do you put your website URL? How do you do this? How do you make a pretty Gmail signature? First YouTube video ever, 4 years ago. And I put it out because it was going to be way easier to do a video for this tutorial than it was to write it all out. It's going to be easier to understand. Well, I don't know, maybe 3 months after that video was published, I went to a conference. And I was not speaking at that conference. I had actually applied to speak at the conference and got denied from speaking at that conference. I went to the conference and literally everybody was like, oh my gosh, I love you. I love your tutorial on how to create a Gmail signature. It started being called the Jessica Stansberry method at this conference. People were coming up to me and being like, when do you speak? I'm like, oh, I'm not speaking. They'd be like, why? And I didn't have that many subscribers on YouTube. Actually, I had less than 500 because this was in the first year. And people still saw me as an expert because I was showing off that factor, right? I've been asked to speak from cold contacts, people who've just found me on YouTube. One of my last speaking engagements in 2020 before the world shut down was actually from someone who saw one of my YouTube videos and was like, hey, I host a conference for this company. This is a paid opportunity. We'll pay for your airfare. We'll pay for your hotel. We'll pay for, like this much money for you to come and speak. Will you do it? And I was like, yes. And that was completely cold pitch, right? Nobody knew me before YouTube. Nobody. YouTube was the game changer, okay? So income. So remember, it will help your authority, your income. Ow. Yeah, I can move my face. I can actually turn my face off, actually. Hold on. Let me move it up here for now. We'll go up there, and then if it still becomes a problem, we'll get rid of it. So, okay, so income explained. Remember, we're building our authority, our income, and our reach, okay? So an extra income stream plus leads to your existing products and services. That's what YouTube is. Google AdSense can be its own arm of income, in addition to the other things that you sell. So for me, I went into this already having a business. I went into this with a business already, right? So I was already selling courses. I was already selling digital products. I was already selling those types of things. So what happened was I went into YouTube thinking these would just be like that platform. Vanessa, don't remove your face. I know, I like to be able to see y'all. But that platform would be a way to funnel people into the things I was already selling. And at the time, I was still selling services. I was still doing services for people. I was still doing web design back then. I was still doing things for people in addition to selling digital products. But what I also didn't expect was that how much YouTube can be its own arm and stream of income. I am a big believer in diversifying your income, huge believer. And it allows me to diversify my income in a way where I know I'm making a certain amount of money from YouTube, even if nothing else comes in, which is hardly ever the case, but So I made $38,000 alone on YouTube, just from AdSense in 2020. Y'all, I live in a small town. We've talked about this. And the income ranges are pretty low here. And I was with my corporate company for 3 years before I left, and I didn't even make $38,000 a year in my last year there with a 4-year degree. Okay? So it is a big deal for me that one stream of my income makes me $38,000 a year, and I don't have to do anything to make that happen anymore. If I wanted to take 4 months off of YouTube, would my income fall? Probably a little, but not massively, because a lot of that income is coming from videos I've done in the past. So it's a really great extra stream of income, but also passive stream of income, okay? So money, honey. So the third thing that YouTube can really grow for you and your business is your reach. YouTube is an evergreen search engine. YouTube is a way that people can find the information they're looking for, and it is evergreen. Some of my most popular videos still to this day, are 3 years old. Some of my most popular videos, most income generating, most lead generating, most money making videos, still to this day, are 3 years old. Because of this reason right here. YouTube is evergreen. YouTube will pay you and serve you for years to come. If you do the work, 1, it gets easier, and 2, it will continue to kind of feed into that puzzle as we go. You can reach way more people with videos on YouTube than with social media, and I'm going to show you that specifically, okay? Okay, so hopefully, yeah, you guys can see that. My screen may be a little zoomed in, I'm sorry, but I think you can still read that text. Okay, so thank you. Okay, so here's the thing. I literally pulled these numbers from my Instagram and from my YouTube channel, when I was putting together this presentation. So Instagram, I have been in a month of Instagram, so I'm 18 days in to a month of posting every day on Instagram, okay? My Instagram is drastically shooting off the charts right now. It's doing so well. It's growing like crazy. You can see there that it's a 2,300% increase on Instagram this month, okay? But look at that compared to my YouTube stats. I've had an impression on Instagram from posting every single day, doing reels, taking the effort that it does to do this, right? And I've reached 332,000 people, which is a lot of people. Now, those people haven't followed me. Those people haven't necessarily done anything else. It's just I've reached them, okay? On YouTube, in the last 28 days, publishing 4 videos, because I publish 1 a week, I have reached almost 2.2 million people, okay? So you see the difference in this. It's so organic, and it can be just this massive, massive audience driver for you, okay? Okay, so, oh man, I don't know where to put my face for this one because we can't cover up Queen Brittany. We can't cover up Queen Brittany. Do you hear me? Okay, I'm just gonna leave it up here. I was trying so hard before YouTube. This is me. This is me and Brittany memes, okay? This is what I was doing. Before YouTube, I was so sad. Before YouTube, I was like, I am trying everything and I am not going anywhere. Like literally, come on, please, 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 something happen, right? Then, middle Brittany, I start to go, oh, I can use this for SEO. And someone who watches my video could go get on my email list and then might possibly buy one of my courses, right? And then happy Brittany, where I'm like, oh my gosh, it's working. It is working. And honestly, from the moment that I really started being serious about YouTube, that this was not that far of a journey. So I had those 500 subscribers in July of 2017, and I immediately, by September, so July, August, September, 2 months, by September I had 1,500 subscribers. So it had taken me a year to get 500. I got serious. I figured out what I was doing. I got to be happy Brittany, and then I was growing much, much quicker. So the 4-part framework we're going to talk about, okay? I'm going to go ahead and tell you the 4 parts. Consistency, optimization, collaboration, and conversion. And if anybody has a C word that I could substitute for optimization, I would be totally okay with that. Because then it could be like the 4 C's. But I cannot think of a C word that would replace optimization. So it's consistency, optimization, collaboration, and conversion. First, consistency. So here's the thing with any content, but specifically on YouTube, okay? Consistency is key. Consistency breeds legitimacy. Consistency breeds leads. Consistency breeds subscribers. Consistency breeds moolah, okay? That's really what it comes down to. Consistency is probably the biggest thing I want you to take away from this talk today, okay? I want you to be consistent. I want you to understand that you don't have to be the smartest, or you don't have to have the best production of videos, right? Like you don't have to have the $3,000 camera. You can use your phone. But if you're consistent, it's going to do so much for you. It keeps the SEO gods happy. And I always like to say that because I think we get really stuck on the fact that consistency is just good for the viewer, right? But consistency is what YouTube looks at to say, okay, she's done, all the things. Like she's done the keywords, she's done the tags, she's done the titles, right? But because she's consistent, or he's consistent, right? Because we're consistent, now the SEO gods are like, okay, all right, you're consistent and you're doing everything right. Let's show your videos. Let's do it. Let's do this thing together, right? It also keeps your viewers coming back. Just imagine with me for a minute that you found the best show on TV. Let's pretend that we don't have Netflix and we're going back to like days of TV, right? You found the best show on TV and it came on Mondays at 7 p.m. It starts coming on, right? And then all of a sudden it just stops coming on. And you loved it. You loved this show. This was your favorite show. And then all of a sudden it just stops coming on. Then it's like, oh, well, it's going to drop an episode on a Wednesday at 2, right? So it's the same thing with your viewers on YouTube. They get used to seeing your videos at a certain time, a certain day, a certain whatever. And so it's going to create this relationship with your viewers where they're going to know when to come back to get new things from you. And it keeps you relevant. We all know of channels that we have followed or whatever, and they just drop off the face of the earth with like no announcement or whatever, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh, wonder what happened to so-and-so. And the reason we don't know about them is because they haven't published a video in like 100 years. Yeah. Okay, optimization. Somebody gave me a C word. Configuration. Okay, that's a solid, contender. So optimization. People can't find you if they don't know how to find you. Okay, so remember, this is the 4-part framework to actually being successful on YouTube. Optimization is so key. So key. You've got to be consistent. But if you are not optimizing in a way where your consistent videos are being seen by YouTube and your viewers, you're going to fall short. Optimization is a massive, massive key to success, okay? People can't find you if they don't know how to find you. So what I often will see is people who are like, let's say I'm going to do a tutorial on Canva. Let's just randomly say that, okay? I'm going to do a tutorial on Canva. But instead of using the correct title and tags and thumbnails and all of that, I'm just kind of putting it out there like, oh, this is a tutorial on something, and I title it something weird, and I don't use tags. People can't find that. They may love you. They may love the way you teach and love your content, but if they can't find you, they don't know that, okay? We want to attract our ideal client, and in order to do that, our ideal viewer, our ideal customer, like whatever your business model looks like, we have to attract them. And in order to attract them, we actually have to be found in search and whatever. So some of the translations are hilarious because of my accent. Oh, I'm sure. I am sure. So discoverability is key on YouTube. If you can't be discovered, people can't find you. If you can't be discovered, people won't care if you're consistent because they can't find you anyway, right? Okay, collaboration. Ooh, goodness. Collaboration is such a good way to grow on the platform. Wait, let me go back for a second. Optimization. So I bet you're sitting there and you're like, oh my gosh, how do you tag? How do you title? How do you do all the things that optimize? I'm going to talk more about that in a minute, okay? I'm going to talk more about how you can learn to do those things, okay? But also that would take me 17 hours. We would be here 17 hours. None of us got time for that, right? Okay, collaboration. I collaborated with someone in the beginning of my channel. I probably had 2,000 subscribers at the time, maybe 3, and that person had 200,000, maybe 300,000. I can't remember now. And what had happened was I had just established a relationship with them. Like we had become friends, and we had, just decided that we enjoyed the way each other taught things. And we did a collaboration where we were giving value to each other's audiences, right? I remember in that day that I did that video, I gained over 500 subscribers. I think it was 500 in one day. That's huge. And now, not all collaborations are going to give you that many subscribers, but a lot of your collaborations are going to get you in front of someone else's audience and place you on a pedestal as an expert in your field. So let's say that you want to collaborate with someone who's similar to you, who, has a similar audience to you, but their audience has never heard of you. Maybe they only have 50 subscribers and you only have 50 subscribers. Their 50 and your 50 do not overlap. So now there's, let's say 25, let's say half of their audience who's like, oh my gosh, I've never heard of this person before and I love them so much. So now you've gained 25 more people. So every collaboration is so key because it's almost like the person you collaborate with transfers their like authority that they've built with their audience onto you and vice versa. It also breeds legitimacy. So when someone trusts someone else, like someone else is like, oh my gosh, I absolutely love your, I love this person. And then they have someone come on and collaborate, automatically that love gets pushed onto you, right? So you also will gain a piece of an audience you would not have had. And that's what I was talking about a second ago. It doesn't matter if you gain 2 people. It's still 2 people you wouldn't have had. Collaborations are so key. And not only are they key for growth on YouTube, but we have to build relationships. We have to build relationships to build a business, to grow our channels, to whatever, okay? Last part of the 4-part framework, okay? Conversion. We have to convert them somewhere else. So if they're watching you, okay, if they're watching you and they're like, oh my gosh, I love her, I love him, I love them, like whatever, right? I love this person. And they're wanting more. This is why we as consumers, but also as like business owners, why we'll see one like social media platform grow and the others grow as well. Because instantly when we find someone we like on a platform, we want to go find them other places. So you want to create a way for someone to watch you, for someone to, find you on YouTube, but then make them convert and come into your ecosystem in a different way as well. So usually we want them to subscribe to our email list. We want them to purchase something from us. We want them to come to a webinar, like whatever that looks like for your business, right? So it's one of those things where we don't think about it enough. We think, oh, we're going to put content out on YouTube, but we don't think about what we want people to do next. Your YouTube channel, your YouTube videos is that first date. Like it's that first date with that person. You're eating, you're drinking your bubbly water, I was thirsty, so that was a good point for me to do that. You're eating, you're drinking, you're having fun, but there's got to be more. There's got to be more to this relationship. People should want more from you. So in order to really see success on the YouTube platform, whether you have 100 subscribers or 100,000, you've got to convert them into other things, which is we're going to go deeper into here in just a second, okay? So the 4-part framework here is what allows me to go up against the big dogs and actually rank because I may not have as many subscribers as them. So here's Think Media and Gillian Perkins, who are both good friends of mine. But they're both ranking for how to tag your YouTube videos, and so am I. Okay, I'm number 3. They both have triple or more the amount of subscribers that I have. And this has been the case for me from day one. I've been able to hold my own in the search because I have this framework, because I know that these are the 4 things that actually matter. I actually need to be doing those things, and then I can stand out. So using YouTube to grow your business is not hard if you'll focus on those 4 things, okay? Now, how do you turn those views into leads or money? So because today's title of our workshop here is how to make YouTube into a lead-generating, money-making machine. So how do you do that, right? Which, by the way, under my head, the only words that are there are how to, okay? Turn these videos into leads and money. First, you want to create free content that they'll want after they watch the video. An example of this is possibly another video. Another example is an opt-in to get them on the email list, okay? By the way, these first 2 things in these first 2 columns are the ways you get them, and then we'll talk about that 3rd thing in just a second. But free content is going to get them somewhere else. Okay, you just watched this video about tagging YouTube videos or using tags on YouTube. Maybe you need my free guide on how to build out your tag bank. I don't know. I don't have that, so don't ask me for it. But something similar, right? Maybe you're doing a video all about Pinterest, or you're doing a video all about traveling. You can have a checklist that they can download that will get them on your email list, okay? Then another option that you can use in conjunction with free content and or in place of is low-cost offers. Y'all, I have made almost $40,000 from 2 YouTube videos because of a low-cost offer. From two YouTube videos. That $40,000 is barely from AdSense. I think I made like $1,000 from AdSense from both of them, from like them combined. So it's definitely not from YouTube. It's from the low-cost offer I sell within them. And if you want to know more about that, I'm going to give you a case study at the end. But essentially, low-cost offers are things that are a no-brainer for people. They're watching your video and you're like, hey, for $27, you could go buy this thing. Or for $17, you can go buy this thing. It gets them on their email list, it increases your income, and it gets them to see what your teaching style and all of that is, okay? Now, once they get there, once you turn them into leads, okay? Once you turn the view into leads, you need to nurture them. You need to make them feel like you are legit and you are what you say you are so that they want to purchase from you. That's how this all works together. And there's 1,000 different ways to do that, but getting them to be like, oh my gosh, I loved her video, then I got her free thing, and now I'm following her on Instagram or wherever, and oh my gosh, I love what she says, is going to create that know, like, and trust factor. That's exactly what that does, okay? So leads and sales will come naturally on autopilot if you're doing this right. That is magical. And I can promise you it's game-changing as a business owner. There was a year, so in 2018, we kind of accidentally bought 30 acres and built a house. And there's a whole story as to how that was an accident, but it was. Maybe it was 2017. No, we moved in 2019. So we accidentally bought 30 acres and built a house in 2018. And basically, I had to put my business on autopilot because I did not have the manpower to run my business like I had been in the past. I had a team. I didn't have Laura, but I had a team. And, they were able to run it. But the main reason I was able to step back was because of this. I had leads and money coming in without me having to work for it from videos I had done for years past. So I continued to do my YouTube videos, and that was about it. I didn't launch anything. I didn't create new things, nothing. This was it. So I want you to meet Jamie. Jamie is a systems setup specialist, and I think she has changed her title since I put this together. But essentially, when she started applying the things that I teach, she booked 3 clients, 3 one-on-one clients. I think within the first month, I don't have it here, but I think it was in the first month after her YouTube videos got found on Google searches. So basically she was doing like Dubsado or Honeybook or like system tutorials, and people were finding her in Google searches and then hiring her, okay? So I don't care what your business is. I really don't. I don't care if you sell marshmallows to local businesses. I literally don't care. Your business can work in this framework, okay? Your business can do this. It literally doesn't matter what your business is, okay? Obviously, because remember my 17 hours comment a minute ago? Obviously, it kind of looks like that hand is flipping you off because my face is covering it. That's really bad, isn't it? Okay, so there's a lot more to this. There's a lot more, and I get that. And I get that when I tell you that you should collaborate, you have 10,000 questions, and that you should optimize, you have 10,000 questions, and that you should be consistent, you have 10,000 questions. There's filming, and there's editing, and there's all of it, right? Like, it's all a lot of work. And trust me when I tell you that I don't discount that at all. It's still a lot of work for me, and I'm 4 years in. But there's also systems and strategies and things you need to know that are going to make it so much easier. So I have a course called YouTube Rockstars, and that is going to help you take what you learned today to the next level, okay? So YouTube Rockstars is going to teach you the process for success. It's going to teach you tagging, titling, optimizing, thumbnails, launching, all of it, okay? It's going to teach you everything in a linear fashion. So you can be like, oh, I want to start from point A and go to point Z. That is what YouTube Rockstars is going to teach you. You're going to conquer the tech. I'm going to teach you how to edit in there if you need that. You're going to conquer all the things, okay? And because I am not someone who thinks that you should only focus on like YouTube, as an income stream, I am going to teach you on a high level how to convert those viewers and subscribers into money, okay? Somebody just literally said they have a marshmallow business. Did you see that? Now that's funny. I didn't even know it, So unlike other products, I'm not going to teach you how to be a YouTuber. I'm going to teach you one of two things. I'm going to teach you how to use YouTube as an asset in your business, in your marshmallow business. I am obsessed. I need to know more. But I'm going to teach you how to use YouTube in your business as an asset to grow the business. Or I'm going to teach you how to take your YouTube channel that you already have and turn it into a business, because the strategies work for both, okay? But I'm not going to teach you how to be a YouTuber, because that's not my thing, okay? You won't have to wonder how to film without it taking over your life. Raise your hand if you've ever tried to film 72 videos and it took you 112 million hours and then you were like, oh my gosh, I can't continue to do this. I teach you how to streamline that, how to systemize it, how to make sure that you're doing that in a way where it's not taking over much more time than what you're already doing. You'll know how to optimize so your videos actually show up in search and drive all kinds of traffic. Oh, they had a business. Darn. Yeah, definitely. I need to know more though. I literally hand you a script in YouTube Rockstars on what to say in every single video to do this process, right? To create views, to make people want to like you, to make people love you, all the things. And then I teach you how to verbally command that they go get your opt-in, that they go get your product, whatever, okay? I hand you a script, literally. And you're going to develop a launch plan. And a launch plan, every time I say this in a webinar or something, people are like, wait, I've already launched. Yes. If you've already launched, it's a relaunch plan, because you probably aren't doing it right and we need to fix this, right? If you haven't launched yet, you can use it like that. Here's the deal. I get it. Somebody already said in the comments, yes, editing is so hard for me. Oh my gosh, I get it. I totally get it. Laura spent 3 hours yesterday on some weird editing tech issue, So I totally get it, but also have systems and strategies to help you figure that out to where it doesn't feel that way, okay? We make time for the things that are a priority. And for me, I will get told, from my friends or whatever, they'll be like, oh my gosh, I don't know how you have time for YouTube. And I get that. But also it's a priority for me. It's something that I know is going to massively drive business to my business, right? Massively drive people to the things that I sell. And so if it's a priority for me, I'm going to do it. I spend about 2 to 3 hours every 12 weeks creating content. Now that I've upped my production value a little bit, I have been spending a little bit more, I'll be honest, but I got to 100,000 subscribers, spending 2 to 3 hours every 12 weeks on content creation. That's it. So here's the deal. YouTube Rockstars is the course, and I'm going to tell you more about the cost of that and all of that good jazz here in just a minuto. However, I want to tell you about the bonuses I want to offer you today if you want to jump in on the course. Now, I did see that one of you went ahead and purchased one of the audits. So I'm going to tell you something about that in just a second, but here's the bonuses. I use ClickUp to manage my YouTube strategy, to manage my YouTube planning, to manage my scripts, to like literally everything. And I have a course called A Course About ClickUp where I, like show you how to use ClickUp as a system so that you can do this as well. So you're going to get a course about ClickUp, and you're going to get specific YouTube workflow templates for that, okay? So you can literally plug and play. You're going to get a debrief or a case study that I did, all about how I got to 100,000 subscribers. I actually really enjoyed putting together that case study. So this is my exact strategy on how I got to 100,000 subscribers, what I did, the mistakes I made, any kind of like things that happened along the way is in that debrief or case study. You're also going to get a case study that also was really fun for me to put together, all about how I made that $30,000 from 2 videos. Essentially, I think it was like $38,000 or $36,000 from 2 videos selling a $27 product from 2 videos, okay? And I go all into that in this case study. And then you're also going to get templates that I don't normally include in the course. You're going to get a template for the description of each video. So what to put in that description, how to make sure it actually works for you, how to make sure people are clicking on things in the description and buying from you. And you're going to get a channel art template, okay? So those are things I normally don't give in the course. But also, if you purchase YouTube Rockstars on the webinar, like while I'm taking questions, okay, you will get a free YouTube channel audit, which is $149 normally. Whomever it was that bought that, yes. Okay, so down home money will refund you. If you want to buy the course, we'll refund you for the one you purchased on the webinar and give you your free one, okay? But obviously, you don't have to buy the course. You can keep the audit. Either way is fine. But essentially, on the webinar only, if you purchase now, while I'm talking, I'm getting ready to give you the link here in just 2 seconds. While I'm answering questions, while I'm talking, you also get this free channel audit, which is basically me filming an audit of your entire channel, okay? So I'm literally going to go through your whole channel, tell you what you could do better in your videos, tell you what you could do better in your playlist, tell you about your channel art. These are usually pretty extensive. They usually take me, 30 minutes to an hour to record, and you get this entirely customized audit, okay? So if you want one of those for free, you want to buy on the webinar because that's going away. I'm not giving those away for free for anybody else, okay? So here's the thing. YouTube Rockstars is worth well over $1 bajillion, okay? That's the cost of YouTube Rockstars. And the information inside of it is just awesome, okay? But also, the bonuses are worth a lot, and the extras of today's webinar bonus, okay? I'm gonna move my face. Hold on. Okay. If you spent $1,000, right, to help you create consistent income while you sit on the couch and watch Netflix, would it be worth it? I think it would. Consistent income, content that sells for you, a 6-phase process to get it all done so you can, do it all without stress. I think it's worth $997 or 5 payments of $175, by the way. I do have a payment plan set up. So if you want to grab YouTube Rockstars, all you have to do is go to youtuberockstars.com/offer. Again, you have to purchase on the webinar. While I'm answering questions, I'm getting ready to get to the Q&A section here in just 2 seconds. You have to purchase on the webinar to get that free YouTube audit, and then you get all of those other bonuses as well. The 2 case studies, the templates, the ClickUp course. Katie, if you purchase YouTube Rockstars, we'll give you a refund for the ClickUp course you bought a few days ago. No problem. So essentially, it's $997. Laura just popped the link in the chat. Thank you. Thank you very much. You can go to youtuberockstars.com/offer, and we do have a payment plan of $175. Vanessa, yes, it does. So Vanessa said, does this course also have the YouTube Starter Toolkit info in it? Yes, but in a more expansive, more extensive way. So essentially, the way I have my funnel set up is you buy YouTube Starter Toolkit, and then you get upsold into YouTube Rockstars. And so it's similar information, but way more meaty inside YouTube Rockstars, okay? So only for the next little bit. Oh, somebody super chatted me. Well, hello. Fun. Thank you so much, Shayna. Okay, so I don't want you to wait anymore. I totally know how it is to like not have like a strategy or a system in place, okay? So I want you to not DIY it another second. I literally want to give you the formula that I used, that I have used with clients, that I have used with, like students, all of it, okay? I want you to do that. So I don't want you to miss out on that. Become a YouTube rockstar today, okay? I'm only offering these bonuses through Monday and only offering the audit through like right now when I get done answering questions. So YouTubeRockstars.com/offer is how you get in. Laura put the comment in the chat. Oh, somebody said, can we see Laura? Hi, Laura. You can totally see Laura. She's just over here chatting away with you guys. Okay, so I'm going to leave this up on the screen so that you guys can see how to get there. YouTubeRockstars.com/offer, only while I'm answering questions, okay, guys? But I'm going to sit here and answer questions for a while. So for the next like 15, 20 minutes or so is how you can get on it. Okay, so if you have a question, please let me know in the comments. 1898 Mama, I just bought an audit a few days ago. Yes, if you order this today, I'll give you a refund for the audit. No problem. If you purchased the audit in the last week, I'll give you that. That'll work. If you have not launched a channel yet, will we still get an audit? Yes. Okay, so that's a really unique case, and I will totally be open to saying, hey, you know what? If you want to wait 3 months to cash in on your audit, you totally can do that, okay? That's not a problem. How often do I offer this a year? So YouTube Rockstars is always open, but it's at a discounted rate on the webinar, so it's going up to $14.97 after this webinar, and I don't do the bonuses. So it's always open, but I only do these workshops where I offer a little bit of a discount and some bonuses a few times a year. Actually, I haven't done it in like 2 years. So if that tells you anything. Yes. Okay, I'm going to scroll up through here and see some comments or questions. But if you have specific questions, leave them in the chat, okay? So Barbara said, how long will enrollment be open? Through Monday at midnight for these specific bonuses. Yay, Lisa, thank you. Awesome, you guys are awesome. What is this? Okay, sorry, my phone is doing something weird. All right, I'm gonna scroll up and see some questions here. I hate editing. This will work for direct sellers. Asking for a friend, there's such a negative stigma. Oh my gosh, there is such a negative stigma around direct selling. I get that. And I also understand that YouTube has this entire like anti-MLM community here. But if you are looking to, the strategy with MLMs, the strategy with direct selling is that that product you're selling or that company you're promoting is really an asset to the brand you're building. So absolutely this will work. You'll build up the brand that you want to build, and then you drop little nuggets along the way for selling your direct sales product. Okay, thank you guys for coming in here. All right, let's see. Editing is so hard. The marshmallow business, I still can't get over this. Okay, so Steve, do you use funnels on free content or low-cost offers to try and upsell, or wait until after they're an email lead? Okay, for me personally, I do funnels on a low-cost offer. So I will say, if it's $27, right? When they check out, they'll get an option to order bump to something else, like maybe $30 more or whatever, and they'll also get another option for like a one-time offer after that. But if it's a freebie, no. That's still not enough of a relationship for me to be like, you should send me money. Okay, so basically if it's a freebie, I wait and sell to them or upsell to them later on in the process, okay? I'm going to scroll back down and see any of y'all's comments that I'm missing, okay? That was a weird question. Okay. Let's see. Collaboration can also be harmful. Yes, it really can. Yes, I love that take. Not that I love the take, but you're totally right. Let's see here. Laura answered a couple of these, I know. Okay. So I'm going to scroll back down. If I missed your question up top, just retype it in the bottom. Someone said, how much time until you get results? So normally when I run this, so I have run this course before with like hands-on support, and we do it for 3 months, and definitely people saw results in 3 months. But as quick as you want to start implementing, as quick as you actually want to do the work, you'll start to see results, okay? Somebody asked if there's going to be a replay. Yes, we will send that out after the fact. It feels like we just started. I know, right? Let's see. No one watches my vlogs. How do I make quarantine life interesting? So you've got to figure out what your unique selling proposition is. And I know you're not selling when you're doing a vlog channel, but you've got to figure out why they want to watch you versus somebody else, or why they would want to watch you. And also, you have to remember that people are there for you. So how can you really make it a personality-driven channel? Somebody said, is it snowing in North Carolina? No, not right now. It could in 2 seconds. Is it supposed to snow more today?
Probably.
Yeah, we think it's supposed to snow more today. It iced last night, so there's a lot of ice everywhere. We're bubbly twins. Hey, Jake, what's up? Jake from Dubsado. Do you have a course on funnels and how to do them? So this course won't teach you how to do funnels, like as a whole, because that's a whole different thing. But funnels are part of the course as far as like me telling you how to get people in them. Actually, you know what? I have a mini course called Funnels Are Not Scary. I'll throw it in too if you buy today. Absolutely. Laura, did you hear me? Okay. I say that and then I'll forget I told you that. People will be like, where's my funnel course? I totally have it. It's free. It'll be free if you purchase on the webinar. How's that? Gregory, my secondary channel about football has really blown up. Washington Football Fanatics. Oh, fun. I have gained over 550 subscribers in a month and a half. Where do I build an email list? Ooh, okay. So my favorite place to build an email list is ConvertKit. I think it's the easiest and like simplest to use, but also I personally have had the best results with like delivery rates and things like that with ConvertKit. And it's also one of the cheaper ones. Laura, will you put in my ConvertKit link? It's just heyjessica.com/ConvertKit. That will get you can always get a month free through them, but I think that gives you something else too. I don't know, it may not. But that is the one I always use, but there's a ton of email marketing systems out there. How do you make lifestyle videos and vlogs rank in search? The thing with vlogs is you try and use search as much as you possibly can. So let's say during your vlog, you, I don't know, make something like it's a vlog, it's a family vlog, but you made, I don't know, I'm looking around my desk to like find something I could make, but you made something. That is where you would take advantage of SEO. But a lot of the times with vlogs, you don't really take advantage of the search, but you still use keywords and tags to get you in front of the right person, because that's key, is the right person needs to find you, okay? I use my channel for ministry and business. Should I have 2 channels instead of 1? Not sure if I can grow a second one to that number. You have 4,700. So if they're not the same audience, then yeah, you need 2 channels. Like if you're trying to attract 2 different sets of people, then yes. If you're trying to attract other, I don't know if you're a ministry or a minister, I'm sorry. Yes, you are. I know you are. I see your face. So if you're trying to minister on the channel but also teach business, that's just 2 totally different things. But if you're trying to teach business to ministers, that could work. About collabs, Allison says, is there a polite way to break into YouTube communities? Emily Baker mentions her community is drama and they're lovely. Is there a way to introduce yourself to other creators? So first of all, I love Emily. She's a good friend of mine. So with collaborations, the key is really creating relationships. And so just reaching out to them and being like, hey, I love what you do on the platform. I also have a channel. It's a great way to start. Reaching out to them on whatever other platform they're on most. So for me, for instance, you could reach out to me on Instagram DMs. Emily uses Instagram. Some people use Twitter, right? Like it just kind of depends. But just reaching out and being like, I love what you do, you know, and not going at it from a place of collaboration at first. That will come naturally. Okay. Oh no, Elena, I'm sorry you had the time wrong. If the channel's in Spanish, will it get an audit? So Claudia, yes, but we definitely need you. What we'll ask that you do is translate, or at least give us a synopsis of one of the videos and kind of what it's about, as well as any other place on the channel that has something that needs to be translated. So if your cover art has Spanish in it, then, you know, just tell us what it says. But yes, I can totally do that. So someone said, how do you create a great hook intro for your video? Okay, so the thing with a hook is that that's literally its job. And we talk a lot about this in YouTube Rockstars. Like it's a massive thing. That's its job. That's its job, to get people to stay. So my husband has started his own like farming channel, right? And he had this video that did really, really, really well. It was not search driven. So going back to someone that asked about vlogs, his video was not search driven at all. But it was, you know, about farming. Like one of our cows had a baby. And essentially he was putting it together, and he was just going to like put it together in chronological order. And I was like, no. You hook them with the idea that the baby is about to be born or something problematic is happening. And then you cut it off. Because now they're like, oh my gosh, well, I need to see what happened. It's the same thing with talking head videos. You've got to get them to want to be like, oh, well, I need to know more. And we talk a lot about that in YouTube Rockstars. So remember, if you want to grab YouTube Rockstars, you want to go now. And any of you who purchased like the audits or anything that also purchase the course, we'll go back through everybody and figure that out. So no big deal. Okay. So someone asked what part of North Carolina I'm in. I am near Boone. That's really the only, nobody will know where I am, but I'm near Boone. I went to college at Appalachian State. You're in Charleston. Well, hello. Yeah, I'm about 6 hours from you. How big was my email list when I first got started? So I started on YouTube when I had an email list of about 500 people. All of those had been built with Facebook groups, with, I'm trying to think of what else I would have done, giveaways, podcast features, like where I was a guest on a podcast, etc. So when I first got started on YouTube, I had about 500 people on my email list, and, you know, it just grew exponentially from there. So I'm hoping there's a checklist. Oh yeah, there's lots of checklists in the program. There's a Trello board, there's checklists, you get a Facebook group, all the things. Hey, listen, I get that $185 is still a lot for your family. I have been there, done that, got the t-shirt, girlfriend, don't worry. And the thing is, I try really hard to put out a lot of good free content that's going to help you. It's just a matter of courses are in sequence. Courses are in sequence, and they're usually a little more in depth. Like I've talked for almost 75 minutes, and like, could you imagine if I tried to like tell you every strategy? We'd be here for 100 days, right? $18.98, Mama. I just tried to order. Oh, Laura's got it. Never mind. Sorry. I know where Boone and App State is. Yay! Yes, I'm close. You just gained a new subscriber today. Yay! How many videos should you have up before you start asking for or offering your email list? So here's the thing with email list. This is something I cover massively in YouTube Rockstars. Like it's at the very end when we talk about growing your email list. But the thing is, YouTube is a little finicky. We've got to keep YouTube happy, which is literally module 1. of YouTube Rockstars. We have got to keep YouTube happy. And one of the ways we make YouTube mad is to send them off the platform too much. So to say like, oh, I would tell you to like, you know, tell it in every video for somebody to go get something off your email list is wouldn't be good advice on my part, right? Like, yes, you might grow your email list, but YouTube is going to get mad at you and then they're going to not, you know, like show your videos anymore. So essentially, there's not really a number. It's kind of a formula that I teach inside YouTube Rockstars. But essentially, whenever you're ready to, whenever you know you're going to be consistent, whenever you have something that's going to be helpful to the audience, that's a great place to start. Yay. Thanks, Monique. Okay, so let's talk again about the bonuses while I'm waiting on more questions, and then I'm going to dip out of here, and you guys have lost your opportunity to get two of the bonuses because I threw in that other random one. Okay, so bonuses. You're going to get Laura typed them in the comment. You're going to get the ClickUp course, okay, which has YouTube templates. It has a YouTube workflow template. It's going to teach you how to use that as a system to help you do this thing, okay? You are also going to get 2 case studies, one about how I got to 100,000 subscribers and one how I made 30,000. It's actually almost 40,000 from 2 videos, okay? You're also going to get templates for the video description and the channel art, so you can make those wherever you want to. And then just on the webinar, so I'm getting ready to pop off here in about 5 minutes. We've got like 5 minutes left, okay? Just on the webinar, you are also going to get a free channel audit. If you already have your channel, we can do that in the next few weeks. So essentially, we deliver those within 14 days of purchase. If you want us to wait, basically, we can wait up to 90 days. So if you're like, wait, I want to do some things on my channel first before I waste this audit, that's totally fine. But those are normally $149, and you'll get one for free if you purchase on here. And I'll also throw in my Funnels Are Not Scary mini course, which is going to kind of teach you how to funnel. It's just kind of the basics of how to get started with funnels, okay? So I see several of you have joined. I'm so excited. You get a Facebook group, all the things. All of that will be coming in an email to you. Okay, so let's answer a few more questions. You like my sound effects from my bubbly water? I started out blogging before branching out into YouTube, and there's something about that scary investment in the beginning that holds you accountable. Oh my gosh, Melissa, totally. I was not in a position to be able to afford courses when I first started my business, but once I was, I remember spending money on a course that I just did not have to spend on a course, and it held me so accountable, and I got such amazing results. So I completely agree. Has anyone ever done a live show for sales? Okay, so Monique, you don't want to use YouTube like QVC. You really don't. I totally know what you mean, but that's really not something you want to do. Now, building your relationship with live shows and, letting people know there's links to things in the description, it wouldn't hurt, okay? So, how can I let you know about delaying my audit? I can't talk. Okay, yeah, just email us. Very helpful determining if I'm ready for YouTube Rockstars. Girl, if you want to grow, you're ready. Okay. Yeah, branching out from Facebook Live. So Facebook Live is a whole different ballgame, right? And YouTube will get mad at you, essentially, for doing that. And then they won't show your other content, which is not at all what we want, right? So Laura sent an email. Yay. Okay, perfect. Is the ClickUp info different than the course? No, it's not. If you have purchased a course about ClickUp or the audit within the last 7 days, we'll give you a refund on those if you purchase YouTube Rockstars. But if you purchased it before, there's no real good way for us to do that. But no, the information is not different. It's the same course. I'm giving you that course as a bonus. Yeah, it's fine, Allison, that the bonuses weren't listed. They're on there somewhere. They're on the page. You might have missed them, or also something went weird. Is my funnel course available separately? No, it's not. I retired it a while ago. So I'm sorry. Will you enable channel membership anytime? I might, Adrian, but I don't know. I don't like the fact that YouTube takes part of my money. I like to keep my money. So I would rather funnel people into a membership all on my own than a channel membership, So I don't know. I've thought about it, and I've definitely thought about what that could look like. So, YouTube is just better for building relationships and exposure than actively selling. Yes, Monique, for sure. Like, that's the key. And not that you can't actively sell. Like I say, the two videos that I talk about in that case study where I made like almost 40,000 from them so far, I'm actively selling in the videos. So you can actively sell, but on a regular basis or in a live format, YouTube's going to get a little irritated with that. Okay. Yes. Okay. Anybody got any other questions? If not, we're going to shut this party down. Okay. So let me tell you how this is going to work. If you purchase today, if you have any trouble, just email us. Laura has put our email address in the chat a few times, I think. So just email us if you have any trouble. We will get you figured out. The ClickUp course, we're having to manually, I'm going to get the hiccups. We're having to manually add you to the ClickUp course. So just hang tight for that. So if you purchase today, you'll get added. It just may be in a few hours. Just purchased, so credit you for the audit. We can totally do that. If you purchased an audit or ClickUp in the last 7 days, but also you purchased YouTube Rockstars today, we'll go through those and make sure we're refunding where they need to be done. What else? Oh, the doors are open with all of the bonuses except the funnel and the audit until Monday at midnight. So today is Thursday. So Monday the 22nd at midnight, okay? And then, I just moved that around. And then the course price goes up by like $500 and all the bonuses go away. So, I just signed up. I've been watching you for almost a year. I love your content. You're in Sanford. Oh, I totally know where that is. Yes. Anytime you're in West Jefferson, let me know. Strange people walk by my office every day. It won't be anything weird. Okay, one last question and then I'm gone. I'm new in YouTube. Any tips on how to increase subscribers? Oh, I have all the tips. Basically, any video on my channel in the last 2 or 3 months is going to give you a ton of tips on how to increase your subscribers. But if you can, if you want to join YouTube Rockstars, obviously I have a ton in there as well. But the biggest thing is to follow the 4-part framework I talked about earlier. So if you're jumping in late, you can watch the replay after it's over. It will pop onto YouTube, and if you signed up via email, we'll email that out to you. Just follow the 4-part framework. That's the way you're going to grow, okay? So we have clients coming in 8 minutes, so I'm going to hop off here. But if you want to join for the next 2 or 3 minutes, I'll give you that, and then we're cutting off those extra bonuses, okay? Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I've had so much fun. Laura, do you want to say bye?
Bye.
Thank you guys so much. Bye, y'all.